Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 6, episode number 11 tonight. Andy, tonight's the sports edition. We've got sports to bring the listeners.
Yes, it's that time of year. We got a whole bunch of fun stuff coming up now. Kind of dip into the high school stuff a little bit more.
It's it's January 20th, 2025. Fall sports is basically done. Winter is in full force. College football's done. A lot of the winter sports are wrapping up. We'll be having wrestling subsections, sections, basketball, girls basketball, hockey. A lot of things are coming up. Along with Major League Baseball hot stove, of course.
Right. Town ball hot stove, college hot stove, fantasy baseball hot stove. We got it all.
Lots going on. All right, let's start off.
First, we have
trivia question, right?
Yep.
Here's a trivia question. We'll have the answer at the end of the episode, everybody. But who, it's only one person, name the only major leaguer to record more than 500 hits with 4 different ball clubs. In his major league career, played with multiple clubs, but recorded over 500 hits with 4 of them. Huh. No one else has done it, so we'll get to the answer at the end of the episode here, Andy.
All right, here we go. First of all, Inauguration Day. And those of you who watch the show know we kind of cut corners here. We have interns that do nothing for no pay.
Yes.
Our advertising's not that great. Our technology is not the greatest. With the money we saved, we did put in to buy the golf of Sports and Songs.
Oh, I saw this post today. That was genius.
I haven't heard yet how we did. We have submitted a bid. We'll have to see.
Great.
We're branching out. We'll see how it goes, but we'll see how it
Love
is.
It. I did chuckle when I saw that today. Yes. I chuckled, Andy.
A little giggle.
Not laugh, but I chuckled. I thought it was pretty good.
All right, we're gonna go for sports here to start with. Dance the POM title defended its POM title. The University of Minnesota dance team defends POM title, takes home the national title number 23. 23 of them.
Yeah, and we don't give this enough credit. We hear every day about the Vikings going to 4 Super Bowls and losing, and the Twins having 2 titles, but 23 titles. This flies under the radar and back to back again.
And also, the cheer team took first place in the small co-ed game day category, the first title in the program's 126-year history. So the gymnastic or the cheer, all the different ones, you can see their jazz routines on their social media pages. I'm into this a little bit. My daughter danced all throughout the high school and that. So I kind of understand what's going on when I watch it. I don't know what's going on, but I do. I enjoy enough to have a good time. I know Mrs. Dan is into the dance and watches that. So it's fun stuff.
Well, this is tough stuff. So this is not a regional tournament. This is not an invite. It's not an open tournament. This is the end of the year championships.
Yep. This is the national championship. And
so
I've said this before about dance. So I noticed I compared it when my daughter was in it. It was kind of like watching high school wrestling where it's all intense for 5 minutes, then you're done for a little bit. Unlike a baseball game or a basketball game where you're going back and forth. It's all of it for 5 minutes, then a break. The adrenaline, even as a parent, is just incredible.
Yeah, and the parents for these events, hats off to you for everything you've done. The students themselves, this is no small feat. There are some talented programs in the U.S. Now, Minnesota.
Yes.
Not the U of M, but the state. Very good powerhouse when it comes to dance, jazz, and things like that. So do you have any more on this? I've got 2 slides to show.
Yeah, go ahead. Put your slides up. Yep.
So I just wanted to show that.
I'll minimize mine here. There you go.
Okay, here you go. For the Jazz, Open Jazz final results. Of the top 5, Minnesota State, Mankato, number 1. This is the best in the nation. This is the championship. Number 2, UMD. Number 4, St. Cloud State. Number 5, College of St. Benedict. So look at this. And they call this meme the state of dance.
That's
Andy.
us.
When's the last time you've seen a sport whether it's wrestling, track and field, football, baseball, that 4 of the top 5 places are from a single state.
We every blue moon, I bet we do it in hockey, but not for year end. Maybe at one point during the season, but not year end.
So for the Open Jazz, check it out. I know what we missed there was number 3 in that previous meme. But here's actually the screenshot I took today of the top 10 finishers in the finals. This isn't semifinals. This isn't the quarterfinals. This is the national.
Or at one time during the year rankings, this is the finals.
This is the final. And so this is held down in Orlando, Florida, right? In what is called the Super Bowl of dance. And guess what happens here? We get, Mankato, UMD, St. Cloud, St. Benedict's. Orange Coast College slipped in there at number 3 there to ruin the party. But this is good stuff, Andy.
We were Minnesota nice and let them in.
Yeah, this is good stuff. It's tough to do this, to get to this level. Hats off, especially to the freshmen or the sophomores that are new at this, and also to the veterans, the seniors and the juniors. But boy, this is big stuff.
And now, you can see in this picture and also on the other for Jazz, there's guys in this too, which make it really fun to watch.
Yes. Now, what I wanted to say is, I was asking about this earlier today. As far as the etiquette, I was going to say, women's dance, but you really can't say women's. This is all co-ed. There can be men out there. Typically, it's the females, but good stuff. My wife said, now, Andy, check this out. She would like to go to this next year. She would like to go book a flight to Orlando and take part of this Super Bowl of dance. And so, it's fun stuff.
Well, considering it was 15 below here today, she'd be picking it right next year then.
That's maybe helped with the decision, but this is this is good stuff. Hats off. Minnesota athletes is the group to beat here. Nationwide, tough stuff.
Speaking of Minnesota athletes, our girl Paige Bueckers, fastest Husky to reach this milestone of 2,000 career points. Now, yes, she had the COVID year. They're not saying all-time points. She's the fastest to reach it. So it must be a games played because she was injured and missed games.
Yeah.
And, I was watching on the local news this morning, now one of the channels, I won't say which one. And they happen to mention, a Minnesota girl did this great in college. We've been following Paige Bueckers on this show since high school. So we are not late to the party.
Yeah,
we've been Team Paige for 6 years now. So welcome to the bandwagon, local media.
I am proud to say that I did go and attend the final high school game Paige Bueckers played at Williams Arena in the state tournament for Hopkins. This is during COVID, which is starting up, and I thought I'm going to get myself a ticket. I have to watch her play before she goes off to UConn, and they never held the finals that year. So what I watched was really a semifinal game for the state high school. But we've been covering Paige here on the show for several years.
Now, this next guy has spoken. Not only have we all said it. Will Anderson Jr. of the Chiefs said beforehand, we knew it. It was going to be us versus the refs going into the game.
Wow.
The announcers were getting fed up with Mahomes getting the calls during the game, from what I saw on the highlight reels. From what I saw in highlights of these games, between the Houston game, Kansas City, and the Washington game. Washington won their game, by the way, against Detroit. But Washington, Houston, I guess like an old fuddy-duddy here. Those are two young clubs that are going to be fun to watch for a couple of years. If they could open the checkbook and keep those teams, and if you're that veteran free agent who thinks you could plug in somewhere to help, Buffalo don't want you there full. You could be the guy sneaking in here. That could be the guy. Or, you know what? Receiver X, who has one more year on his contract, might be looking to these two teams to go to it, to pop up. So, don't be sleeping on Washington, Houston. They could be fun in the next couple of years to watch.
The number of injuries, as the season goes on, we say that it's such a grueling season. And when it gets down to this many weeks in, there's guys hurt, guys in injured reserve.
And they want to add an 18th game now.
You add another game. So for the guys out there, whether you're in college or pros and you're second or third string or maybe fourth string and you're frustrated all year long, keep in mind that the season's long. Some of these guys are getting a chance to play, and you got to be ready to go because the injuries hit hard. And now you're into the divisional, the championship games, the Super Bowl, and you're going to get a chance to get a ring and possibly start in a Super Bowl game as a young rookie or something.
I think you're going to really see now, especially if you go to 18 games. I've said it before how I can't figure it out. When you're down by 21 in the fourth quarter, why are your starters still in there? You're going to see a lot of relief pitcher, relief quarterback type roles, I think, coming up. Relief receivers coming up in the future, especially if they go to 18 games.
Correct.
All right. 80s stat of the week, baseball. Ricky Henderson played more games after he broke the major league record for stolen bases than he did before it.
Oh, my. So he breaks the all-time record, but if you look at games played before
not much again afterwards.
These stats are something else.
Just shows how fast he got that record, and he was still in such good health, he played that much longer afterwards. That's just Ricky being Ricky, though.
That's unfathomable to even think about that.
And speaking of, Bob Uecker passed away, and here's his statue out in Milwaukee with the Brewer shirts and the Miller Lights from the old Miller Lite commercials. Kids, go back and watch the old Miller Lite commercials when they had the taste great, less filling stuff. Him and John Madden were just great in it. The softball games, the pool matches, the bowling. Uecker was a character. You could go back on YouTube and watch all of his old interviews on Johnny Carson.
Yes.
You know, he was a character of the game. He was a great announcer. He wasn't just shtick like in the movies. He did know the game. He worked for ABC when they did Monday Night Baseball. Yes, he was in the WWE Hall of Fame. He did stuff at WrestleMania because that was who Uecker was. He was a character. Yeah. But he did know the game. He didn't just take money for that.
Good guy. Everyone that I know, you don't hear a bad word about the guy.
No.
But many just do not realize the success he had in sports as playing. You make fun of the making fun of yourself as being bad, but the guy was in the majors, so you have to have some talent at least. So
was it him? And I'm going blank on who it was now. I want to say Gibson, and I could be wrong. It was him and an African-American pitcher, which kind of you need to know for the story.
Okay.
It's the team photo at spring training, and they're sitting there with their arms in each other, cuddling like they're a couple or something like that. Just other guys he made everybody else funny and relaxed too,
Yeah, fun stuff. Uecker was one of the best. I mean, just unbelievable.
Now, I say go for wrestling here, but we're talking college wrestling in general.
Okay.
USA Wrestling breaking news. NCAA Division I voted today in favor of adding women's wrestling as its 91st championship sport.
Okay.
Division II and Division III will hold their votes this week. So women's wrestling will be an official NCAA sport coming up. So,
which means, the teams offering it right now, there's still scholarship spots. People are going out. They have teams.
Club teams right now, I believe.
They're competing, but once it goes official, meaning year-end official tournament, trophy, all that jazz, good stuff. Should be fun to watch.
If you follow us on social media, we've been following Iowa wrestling, women's wrestling.
Iowa, yes.
They're awesome. A little tough down there. She's great. Some of the other gals, fun to watch. Keep an eye on Iowa, especially if this becomes a big-time sport like this, or official sport, whatever term you want to give it, or it's not a club sport. Watch Iowa.
So what you're saying is the NCAA is offering it, so now it's up to the Division II or III school to say, yes, we'll do it, or we'll hang tight.
We're going to invest in it, or we're going to wait a year because we only got however many schools who want to do it. Is it worth it for Division II and Division III to go, we're going to keep it clubs. We don't want to travel this far. It's good, take so many miles for us to get 10 teams,
Gotcha. Interesting.
Some baseball stuff here for you. We're going to hit all the brackets of baseball here. First full squad workout dates. Valentine's Day is the Cubs. They start out first. Then the Dodgers, and then the Rays on the 16th. Most of them all start the 17th, and the rest join the 8th. So between the 14th and 18th, full squad workouts.
Yeah, we're on the 20th of January already, so it's already less than a month. The countdown is on, of
I
course.
think the 9th of February, the Cubs pitchers and catchers report. So very exciting.
It'll be interesting.
In fact, here's a NSIC preseason coaches poll. Augustana 1, Minnesota State 2, Crookston 3, St. Cloud State 4, Wayne State at the number 5, all the way down to Bemidji State at 14.
Okay.
So there.
Always good stuff.
Speaking of, NCAA Division I Council approved a rule change that allows programs to begin in August of 2025 to have 35 days before the season begins to get in 27 practices. Currently, it was 18 practices in 21 days. So they're giving a little more time, a little more practice.
Okay.
And now they tiered college hockey logos in honor of the college, football tournament. They have not good, good, great, and amazing. How you can see anything amazing there, Dan? You see Bemidji State up there.
The Beavs.
St. Cloud State. Go Beavs.
That's what's good. Having a good logo is a good thing. It goes a long way, and Beavs have a good one.
It's not exactly what you could draw, like a St. Cloud State.
How close is it to Oregon State?
Oregon State, they don't have hockey, so it doesn't matter. And Oregon State, I think, is they don't count.
They got a similar beaver, but I like these. These are good stuff.
And there's the Gophers down in the because it's just an M. When it's just a certain letter, people can kind of draw it. It's cool for following, but you want you got the Huskies up there. You got Arizona State. You got some St. Cloud State's. I don't know how they've got up there is amazing. But anyway.
And that's just the old Montreal Canadiens with the ST in the middle. Okay.
And there's St. Thomas at the good one in the middle there. Good old St. Thomas. I've got one more thing to mention here. The 2001 Miami Hurricanes were by far the greatest college football team of all time, it says here. 41 players made it to the NFL. 41, they got roughly, we'll say, 80, 90 guys on the roster. 40 made the NFL. 38 were drafted. 17 were first-round picks. And this was before the expansion, so there was only like 28, 30 teams at the time. 17 first-round picks from that 2001 team. 46 Pro Bowlers, 25 All-Pro selections. 2 Hall of Famers so far. Now, and here's my point I brought up on social media with this. You see these numbers for his 2001 team? Can you imagine if this team had the NIL money they have today? What the payroll on that team would have been?
This was a machine. This team was a machine back then.
Yeah. Yeah, but just
I'm not talking about, I'm not sure how legal and illegal everything was there going on, but this was a machine.
Yep. It was.
Wow.
Yes. That's that. That's my bit.
So Andy, speaking of college football, the Marshall football team received a fine. What's your thought?
They did. They got fined for not being in there, for all their players transfer portal and stuff like that. Because this is where I got a problem with the portal. Wait till now. Wait till your games are done. Wait till after tonight, when I guess they have their last final game going on tonight. Then you can enter the portal.
Yeah, or have the portal go live. Have your name in, and it's all secret, and then you can go on there and see who's all out there on a selection show kind of a format, like on a Tuesday morning after all this. But the timing is they're doing it so soon and jumping in after the regular season is done because they can. So they're not doing anything wrong. That's the rule.
Right.
But in the case of Marshall, a bunch of players jumped in to the portal.
Because the coach did a job elsewhere too.
Depleting their roster. This included the coaching staff. They said, we don't have enough to field a team. So they had to turn down their bid due to medical safety reasons, we don't have enough to field a team. So they got another team as a replacement to come in. I think they were 5-7 or something.
Right.
And they got so they didn't do it. Now they got hit with I think a $100,000 fine. Small for the school, write a check and be done. But it brings up the much bigger picture that you've been saying. You've been talking about this now for months, Andy, between the NIL, the portal, all these fluid situations. It gets to be too much. And sorry for Marshall not even being able to go to a bowl game. The guys remaining on the team could have played at a bowl game.
Well, like I said, even before the portal and NIL, guys were like, oh, I might get drafted. I'm sitting out of the bowl game. I'll say it again for those of you new to the show. College football, kind of like basketball, have preseason bowl games where the guys are going to be there anyway. You're going to, instead of Alabama playing, Southern North Dakota, have a 6-6 team against an 8-7 team in a bowl game preseason. They get your sponsorships out. People get all fat, dumb, and happy and excited because it's a bowl game, and do it that way at a neutral site. If you're going to throw the money out there anyway, because again, here's the head scratcher to me. God bless you, Gopher fans. Don't get me wrong. The Mayo Bowl against Virginia Tech. I think Gopher fans would have been just as excited early September for that game as they were early January.
Yeah,
we travel good. They'd have gone. You make it a bowl game. Ta-da.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Once again, I think the Marshall game was just a mid-level, mid-tier bowl, nothing big. Yep. But still, for those kids that are on the roster on the team, looking forward to some of these starters moving over to the transfer portal thinking, I'm going to get a chance to play here.
Here's my chance to show coach what I got.
And they said, nope, we can't do it now because we don't have enough guys. So
didn't even have a coach.
So very interesting. All right. Last thing we got is a trivia answer, Andy.
Fire away. Okay.
Who do you think it could be?
One hint. It's not Pete Rose.
Yeah,
you would
correct.
think it was Pete Rose because of the number of hits and he played around. Not Pete Rose.
It had to be a guy that moved around and was successful at various locations, not just a cup of coffee, not a year or two, but 500 or more hits with four different teams.
I think about it.
This is career hits, not season.
If you lead the league in hits a year, it's just over 200.
Yeah, you may be 180, 220, something. It's
yeah. So he had to play at least 4 years with each team, I would think, to get this many hits.
4 to 5 to 6 to
depending on your situation. Many. So it had to have someone with a decent length career. Guy who played with a few different teams. Okay, he played for the Twins, Blue Jays, Padres, Yankees. I'm going to say Dave Winfield.
Ooh, it's up there. He's up there. The answer is Rusty Staub, Andy.
LeGrand Orange.
Rusty, not an illustrious career, right?
No.
Not a big name.
If you ask him,
he played many years and did serviceable or better for many years and reached the only guy in Major League Baseball. What were the teams again, Andy? 4 teams.
Expos. I got to look it up here real quick. I had it written down and I went blank. Hold on.
It's not the Orioles. Detroit?
No. All right, here we go. Rusty
Expos, Staub. Rangers.
Where is it?
Well, while he's looking that up, just imagine being moved over to a team, not on a 1 or a 2 year deal, but you had to be with the team 4 or 5 years to accumulate that many hits.
Okay.
In a career.
Now, these are the teams he played with. The Houston Colt 45s and the Astros. He was there originally with the 45s and the Astros.
Okay.
He was there for 5 years. He had 3 years with the Expos from 69 to 71, and then again in 79. So he had 2 different stints with the Expos.
Sure.
The Mets from 72 to 75, and again 81 to 85.
Okay.
The Tigers for 3 years from 76 to 79, and 1980 with the Rangers. So okay. The Colts, the Houston franchise, Montreal, the Mets, and the Tigers. There's your 4.
Wow.
He played with the Rangers, but that 1 year, I'm pretty sure he didn't get 500 hits in a season.
That's a great trivia question there. The answer, once again, Rusty Staub, to those fans out there who know him from back in the 70s and 80s.
2012 Hall of Fame induction. Expos retired as number 10. He was a 6-time All-Star. He's in the Expos and Mets Hall of Fame.
We'll have more baseball news, of course, starting next week. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave in the comment section, and we'll get to those questions next week.
See ya.
See ya.